So in my last Paragon video last week, I reset my Paragons upon hitting Paragon 150 for the Mastermind stuff here. So I went into the Mastermind, got these two here, Covert Ops and Find Weakness. And then stuck to Gladiator just because, PvP enthusiast. I wanted to keep Cheat Death and Uncontrollable. And after grabbing those key nodes, then it was just damage nodes from there, right? So damage here, and then damage in Vanquisher, and then damage in Treasure Hunter. And then from there, I kind of just used my leftover points to try to fill out a little more armor pen here. And I still kind of had Vanquisher here just in case I wanted to activate this for soloing. But for the most part, it was just like, I was using Mastermind for PvE activities, outward farming, dungeons, raids, whatever I could get a group in. And then activating my Gladiator for PvP. This is probably the most optimal build for someone that does both PvP and PvE for most people here. But I've been theory crafting a more like offensive orientated build where you just basically use Mastermind for both PvP and PvE. And just forego the survivability that you get from Gladiator. So that's what I've been thinking about lately. I've been using it in conjunction with some other crit and crit damage stuff. So let's just go full out. Let's just go full out DPS offensive Mastermind setup here. I guess this would also be the setup for people that are just don't care about PvP. So if you don't care about PvP, you're gonna drop Gladiator, or you want to go and try to use Mastermind and just benefit from Mastermind for PvP. You can do this. It's basically you're trying to grab. This one is the biggest node here, and this one is you can get up to 10% crit chance if you have 4 different party four unique classes in your party. And a lot of times, even in PvP, at least I'm getting, it's not an all or nothing node either. So in PvP, most times I'm getting at least 7.5% more crit chance in PvP with this. The key here is that as soon as you go into the BG, what you want to do is you want to try to start inviting people that are not the same class as you and no duplicate classes, right? So as soon as I hit the BGs, I see the Barb, I see the Monk, I see the Necro, I invite all 3 classes to my party right away. Hopefully they accept. And then I have 4 separate classes and I can get that 10% crit buff. It is a little bit bugged right now. I did report the bug to Blizzard. It's not giving the full crit chance right now. So do take note of that. It is kind of weird. It's like if you get the 10% buff, it's essentially giving you 10% more crit chance off of your non-crit chance rate. So we've seen some kind of weird percentages going off on this that doesn't give the full value. So just be aware of that. So I've been using that 10% crit chance with, I recently picked up the Cutthroat here. So the Cutthroat, which I can upgrade this to rank 6 pretty soon here and get that 17%. So I'm going to upgrade that. That's an extra 17%. And then it goes also on top of your base crit chance here, which my base crit chance is 16 from, this is just like from bonus attributes on gear. So I've been stacking the crit chance here is 4%, 4% there, that 3% there, and so on, right? So 16 here plus the Cutthroat when I get it ranked up is 17. So that is 33. And then another 10 from Mastermind is 43. So you can get up to like 43% crit chance with this build. Maybe even more if you can rank up your Cutthroat more. So 43% crit chance in PvP, quite nice. It's pretty big actually. If you're attacking from behind, of course. That's the stipulation with the Cutthroat, right? But I found myself pretty, if you use your teleports wisely and you can kind of try to get behind people, or a lot of times in PvP, people will try to run away from you and you just get that free back attack off. Quite a high crit chance. I do have to acknowledge that something here is a lot of people have this misconception right now that crit chance is capped at 10% in PvP. So what happened was, in the previous testing phases, if you clicked on the crit chance here and looked at the tooltip, this tooltip used to say that crit chance was capped at 10% in PvP. So what happened was, when we made guides on max roll, we wrote guides on max roll, specifically like the PvP guides on max roll. We wrote in those guides that it was capped at 10% because that's what it was, right? But then Maxwell discontinued the Diablo Immortal content, and we didn't update those guides. And those guides, basically, other sites copied our guides, and they took that information and copied it, even though it wasn't updated and it was outdated information. So it got kind of spread around, and now a lot of people I talk to keep bringing up this 10% crit chance cap that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist anymore, guys. So just be aware of that. I see that misinformation being spread around all over. A lot of people have that misconception. Crit chance is not capped anymore. Instead, they did the whole like 2/3 reduction on magic attributes and legendary gear instead. But you will notice, I've noticed playing a build like this with a lot of crit chance that I am critting quite often, way above 10%. So even in my play testing, I've noticed that there is no crit chance cap at 10%. All right, so let's go ahead and do the reset here. All right, and just go for the key nodes here. So one thing to also keep note of here is that we found a bug with this one, right? With these nodes here. So if you do 1 point into armor penetration here, it actually unlocks the next node. You don't even have to put 15 points into this armor penetration node. So we can skip that. We can just put 1 point in that for now. But the build that I'm doing right now synergizes really well with armor penetration because we're going crit chance, and armor penetration is crit damage, right? So we're going to have to come back for that. We will come back for that most likely. But for now, I'll just do the base here. So we get the damage here. Obviously, find weakness is something that can be pretty useful in dungeons or raids if you do have 4 separate classes in your party. So and it's 1 point, so you might as well pick that up. But the key node here is covert ops. Let's grab that. Okay. So that's the base of the build. That's the key nodes here. This is always going to be active essentially. And then from here, we're going to focus on damage, right? So the easiest damage nodes are in Vanquisher. These passive round nodes always being active. That's important to note, right? The square nodes, you actually have to click on the tree. These square nodes, you have to actually click on the tree here and activate it to get these buffs from the square nodes, right? These square nodes are active. But these circle nodes are always active. These are always on. So that's why we're going around and grabbing these. So we can grab that. We're going to come back for this armor penetration most likely, right? But let's get the damage. And then the question here is, do we still go into Treasure Hunter and spend 6 points to get these damage nodes? And I think we do. Yep, I think this is good investment here. So let's grab these damage nodes. Also really easy to grab. And if we want, we can also get more armor penetration here, right? So that's pretty good damage and armor penetration access right there. And now that we're not going into Gladiator, we don't have to spend all these excess points into life. Even though I kind of still want the life in PvP. But this damage node takes a while to get to, right? This is easy access, five easy points of armor penetration that I do want. Survivor is not very easy to get access to the damage here. So Survivor is bad for us. And Soldier has damage eventually down here that requires 16 points to get to. So not the most ideal, but if we need to, we can come down here and then eventually also get armor penetration here. So we do have that as an option later on. So from here, what do? From here, we're going to fill out the armor penetration. So even though this was glitched and we didn't have to put points into it, I'm going to put points into it anyways because it's part of my build. Do we actually grab this too? I mean, this is radius of coordinated assault and mutual defense, which are these two here. This only works when you have 4 different classes, but it is 3% skill damage and 3% damage reduction for your group. And you can increase this to 10 yards. Normally it's 5 yards, which 5 yards is not that big. 10 yards is basically screen wide though. 10 yards is very much like screen wide. So, and I would say that, you know, 20 life here is not really a loss if you're doing PvP. 20 life, the 20 life nodes here is probably worth. So let's consider this after we get like our armor penetration. Let's go for, because we just can put 1 point into here and gain access to the armor penetration. And now I also have Vanquisher, Wrath, and Zeal in case I'm soloing. So more armor penetration here. And then we can go back into Treasure Hunter, waste 1 point into Greed to get access to this armor penetration. Alright. There was the free armor penetration in Gladiator. Let's go ahead and put 5 points there. We're at 24 points remaining. So right now we have the option. What can we do right now? We have the option of going ahead and getting super coordination here. Trying to go down into the first points into damage here, and eventually armor penetration here. And I think it's the final points here are gonna go into. I wonder if I could just put 1 point into this. Ah, I know the bug there doesn't work. Okay, so we actually need to fill out resistance here. Alright, and then we can start pumping our damage here. And we'll fill out this and then waste 1 more point in here to get armor penetration eventually. So that is done. Right now I have 240 armor pen and 1460 damage right here. 240 armor pen is pretty good. Look, I'm already in the 700s of armor pen here. And I could get more armor pen if I got more blue sockets here. I only have 2 rank 4 sapphires in my boots right now. Cheers. Hope you guys are having a good day here. Hi, Fudge. Yeah. You want to say hi to chat? What are those paws? What are those paws, Fudge?